All right, let's get started with the 2001 first season of Metro League Baseball season preview. It will just be me, AJ, by myself today, but hopefully Dustin and some other folks can join in the future. All right, so how we're going to do this, we're going to try to be fairly quick, 2 to 3 minutes per team. A number of folks have sent through the form, which I sent earlier, so thanks for filling that out so last minute. And I will go off that for teams that I have. And for others, we'll just wing it. I have not done a deep dive into every single team, so you'll kind of see me going through it live. Also, I'm going to just use my scout as OSA scouting is too out there that I don't think it's as relevant. So just so y'all know, I am a tools scout. Um, so I'm gonna start with the NL and see how we do. And I know most leagues we always start AL East, work our way down and around. I'm gonna do reverse order, show them some love. So we're gonna start with the National League West. So we're going to go in order based on current standings. So starting with the San Francisco Giants, who are currently in first place with a 2 game lead. The Giants, let's see what we got here. In terms of team position rankings, nothing too impressive. Looks like their best player is a catcher, Juan Morin. 70 overall, has some good power. Solid defensively. This looks like a good all-star caliber catcher is the number 21 prospect. So this person will be competing for that compensation pick, which I have a feeling we're going to see a lot more of that as we go through teams, as there's a lot of young players. But as a reminder, top 100 specs, if they are called up and win Rookie of the Year, you get a first round pick. So elsewhere, what do we got? We got a nice looking center fielder who was their first round pick, Ron Hartkopf. Adam Armstrong. Ooh, I don't think this could really stick it at second base, but hey, in our league where defense isn't that great yet, somehow is putting up a positive ZR. I don't expect this to continue. Um, Overall, seeing a lot of green, which is good. All 55s and above for the most part, except for their shortstop, who I assume is a defensive ace. Yep. This was their second round pick. Okay, nothing's standing out, but nothing looks too bad. Everything looks pretty solid across the board. Looks like he likes all-around type players on the offensive end. Now let's get into the pitching. Let's first look at the starters. Their third round pick, Gustavo Hernandez, 30 years old, will be pitching for 3 more years. Solid pitcher. Stevens looks okay. Squire, I hate this type, but apparently it works. But I don't ever even bother with this with the low stuff and terrible pitches. Oh, we got another one. So this guy believes in it. And another one. So three of these terrible pitchers that I personally would never pick. But here we are. In terms of the bullpen, I think one of them was, yeah, let's see, who's Paul Berger? 11th round pick. That's pretty good value given what I see here. OSA has the same 100 plus mile an hour fastball with a nasty splitter. This looks like a great closer, a little old, but on a solid contract. Overall, this team looks all right. Offense looks all right. The pitching, I hate that profile, but it should play well with a nice defense, which they do have in some key positions. And matter of fact, there we go, number one in ZR. Um, yeah, this looks like a solid team. Let's see the rest of the division before we say they're going to win their division. So let's go to the San Diego Padres next. 9-9 to start the season. A lot of red here in position rankings, which might signal they're not trying to win and trying to rebuild. But let's take a look. Francisco Rodriguez was their first round pick. Outfielder, playing left field. Love this guy. Love the high I, high power guys. Wish a little bit better avoid K, but 45 is enough. Switch hitter and only 20 years old. Another player who is eligible for that compensation first round pick and is off to a blistering almost 9 WAR start. Next, we have Mike Jones as the 10th round pick. Pretty good value for a 65 overall, especially in a league where there's not much power. Um, what else? We'll blow through some of these. Nice shortstop, good catcher defensively. Now it's getting weak. I see a lot of strikeouts coming from players. Um, and I see why it's mixed in. There's some average and decent players, but there's also some really poor players. Yeah, like this should not be a starter in my opinion. Travis Smith, Jose Hernandez should not. Whoever this guy is, Locage should not. I don't think this offense has enough to get through it. They're trying the home run approach, right? They lead the league in home runs. These guys are going to strike out a ton. Are they leading in strikeouts yet? Yep, they're one of the worst. So we'll see. I don't like this approach. It's very streaky. Looking at the pitching real quick. Bettencourt was their second round pick. He's a great pitcher, ground baller, also eligible for the compensation pick. Dane, Lopez, I see a ground ball theme, except for Thornton, Kim, another ground baller. So I like 4 out of 5 of the starters. Not bad. The bullpen, oof, leaves something to be desired. Yeah, I don't like this bullpen. Overall, the offense is going to rely on home runs. The starting pitching's good. Um, the defense right now is not playing well, which is trouble for this pitching staff, and the bullpen is not good. Right now, this does not look like a playoff team. All right, moving to the Dodgers. So, here we go. We'll kind of do the same order. We'll take a look at the offense. They're 8-10 to start the season. Key players, they got someone who has a moderate injury. Their 5th round pick, Mike Falvey. This is a great looking 5th round pick. Wow. Looks like already has had a dev up since spring training and when we drafted number 58. So another person eligible for that Rookie of the Year comp pick. Um, he'll be fine. Mick Richardson, the 3rd round pick, should not be playing shortstop. This is going to kill you. You cannot have this playing shortstop. 45 position rating is not going to cut it. John Kingsbury is injured, first injury, 4 to 5 weeks with back spasm. Center fielder, again, don't think this is a center fielder in this league. 65 range is fine. 60 is pushing it. So I'm seeing some defensive issues at 2 premier positions that are gonna really hurt them. Sierra looks nice. What else we got? Zinc, Perea. Seems like he likes these BABIP K gap guys. Until I said that, there's this guy who has a lot of Ks. So I don't know. It's a weird offense and not a lot of defense. And as you can see, their zone rating is second worst in their league. Let's take a look at their pitching. This is their number 1 starter, Rollins, the 17th spec, who is also eligible for that comp pick. Then we have Bashir, Garza, Hendrickson. No, I don't like this pitching staff. This is their closer. I don't know why there's 2 closers. Bell should definitely be their closer. Bashir is set up. No, this bullpen is not good. Oh, 20 control. This should not be in the league. Yeah, I don't like this pitching. I don't like this defense. Honestly, being 8-10 is pretty good for what I'd expect. I don't expect this to be a good team. All right, and the Colorado Rockies. I think we're gonna change our tune, even though they're in last place at 8-10. Look at all this blue and green in terms of top players. We'll have to look at the pitching, but this offense looks stacked. Almost everyone is 60 and above outside of their center fielder, another 60 Ranger. I don't know if that's going to cut it. But it looks like he's not playing center field, so that's good. And then Andrew Smith. This should be a good average player. Let's take a look. Alex Rojas, number 3 spec, another comp eligible pick. If he wins Rookie of the Year, off to an amazing start, batting over almost 380. This was their first round pick. Love to see this type of player, full all around player that should be consistent. John Celine, second round pick, another great all around player with amazing defense. Has already devved up, it looks like, according to my scout. Off to a slow start with the bats, but that will pick up. Polo, another top spec, 31. As you can see here, this team went young with a lot of great players. Who's their starting center fielder? Stark. Love the bat, don't love the K's, but love everything else. This is not a center fielder. So we'll see. There might not just be a lot of center fielders in this league. Um, the offense looks pretty good. The defense, I'm worried in the outfield. But let's take a look at the pitching. So we'll start with the starters. Hallie is not a number 1 type. Bill, not a good pitcher. Sledge, okay. Where's the other ones? Baker, Acevedo. So this starting rotation is very mediocre at best. And then if we go to the relievers in order, Miranda as their closer. Hill, Huerta, nope. So yeah, really good offense. Worried about defense and pitching. They're just going to try to hit their way in. They're in cores. They have high gap guys. They have good overall guys. But if I had to rank these, the Giants are the best team in the division, followed by the Rockies, Dodgers, and Padres, I think will be my order. All right. Well, that is one division down. Let's go back to the standings. Let's go to the NL South first. We'll start with the Cardinals, who are off to a league best 12 and 6, sorry. Um, let's take a look. We have the first overall pick, John Martinez. He's not been hurt yet. Off to a good, casual 10 war pace to start the season with electric defense at shortstop. This is going to be, I know we saw a lot of good specs in the other one. This is the number 4 overall spec. Will be eligible for that comp pick. And is probably the front runner to win the comp pick as well as MVP. So should be a Rookie of the Year MVP candidate. What else we got here? We got a catcher who can't catch. So this is going to be a problem on defense and will not be helping the pitcher out, but should hit for a high average as he already is doing. Martinez is second base. Johnson doesn't look too special. I'm surprised as a 65 rating, to be honest. Decent all-around player, not a bad player. But Coelho, oh boy, this is not a center fielder. 55 range. I don't like this profile. Valiente, no. Is this guy playing the field? Oh boy, he's playing the field. So outside of shortstop, this team doesn't seem to have any defense, which, yep, is showing. They're a bottom defensive team. I don't even like the bats. So I'm a little surprised with this 12 and 6 start to start the season. But let's take a look at the pitching because it looks like their starters are good. So Paul Jansen, third round pick. Yep, looks great. Love this ground baller. He'll be better than his 5.5 ERA. Krebs, decent, solid mid rotation guy. Same with Mantia. This guy is fine as a number 5 guy, and this terrible profile that I can't stand. But overall, the staff looks decent to good, somewhere between there. And then looking at the relievers, Lambert looks like a good closer. Benson looks legit. Mateo, Joseph, Tubbs. Okay. Don't like this Ramos guy and Estevez. So it looks like the The bottom of the bullpen, the specialists in long relief leave much to be desired, but it looks like they have enough on the rotation and bullpen to get by. However, the defense will not be helping them. So as you can see, they have the first ranked FIP, but they're a seventh in runs against, and that's just the defense right there letting them down. If they upgrade their defense, this should definitely be a playoff team. Um, if not, I don't think they're going to continue at a pace, to win 100 games like they are now. All right, let's move on to the Tampa Bay Rays. So glad we're in a league with Tampa Bay. They are off to a 9-9 start. Oh, we see some injuries. What do we got? Zach McSweeney, their catcher, an 11th round pick, out for 2 weeks, and their first baseman, a 9th round pick, out for 5 weeks with a fractured wrist. That is a rough blow to start the season. But we have Angel Baez, second round pick, another top 100 spec. Looks legit. I don't know if I see him as a second baseman yet, but maybe my scouting's a little behind as OSA has 60 range. What else we got? A lot of good all-around players. Yeah, this offense looks decent. I would say decent to borderline good. I think they're off to a slow start, and this should pick up. They look like middle of the pack. Let's take a look at the starting pitching. Gonzalez, Weber, Windsor, Jimenez, Murph. So it looks like they're really focused on starting pitching outside of their number 5 guy. Their top 4 are legit, and this looks like a good rotation despite the start they're off to. Only going with a 6-person bullpen, which can be very, very taxing. I'm also noticing a lot of poor personalities on this team. So that might become an issue if they don't start winning soon. But New looks good as a closer. All these bullpen pitchers look good, so it's at least 6 decent bullpen pitchers. Um, but yeah, that could get taxed pretty quickly. All right, let's look. Clark, another 60 Ranger in center field. So seems like there's not much center field defense right now in this league. All right, let's move on to the Barves. So the Braves off to an 8-10 start. I'm sorry I'm not looking through specs. I don't have too much time. If someone filled out the form and has a spec, I'll go to it. But otherwise, I'm just going to focus on the Sky rosters. So we have second round pick. We'll do everything except make contact. But when he makes contact, he can do some electric things. This looks like a doubles, triples, and home run machine. Is playing him in center field right now, has been doing okay. I think 65 range plus a 60 rating. That is more than enough in this league. Off to a slow start average wise, but is doing everything else. All right, who else we got on the offense side? Jose Lopez, the first round pick, who I believe was a Dev Lab darling. Rumors are that the Dev Lab will be made a little bit harder after the success that we've seen across the board. But off to a great start. This is an MVP candidate. Another person who will be challenging for that comp pick as the number 9 overall spec and only 21 years old. If it didn't have the personality that this person does, I'm sure Jose Lopez would have been picked a lot higher than 27th. Trujillo, great find in the 4th round, 75 overall. Good outfielder. No major split issues, I guess, on the power, but otherwise should be fine. Yeah, this is a solid pick. I like what I'm seeing on the offensive end. We're going to go through a few more quickly. Cologne looks good. Benetti, yeah. This is a good offense. Maybe one of the better ones we've seen so far. They're 4th in runs scored, a lot of stolen bases and home runs. The average isn't there, but I'm sure it will pick up. Let's take a look at the starters. I hate this profile, hate this profile, hate this profile, hate this profile, and hate this profile. Okay, so we're going all in with the low stuff, high home run allowed with pitches that should not be playable, but are in this version. I understand it can work. I don't find it enjoyable, but hats off to you. Really need a good defense for this strategy, which right now doesn't look like they're doing too well on the defensive end. But I wouldn't say it's a big issue. The shortstop is not a great shortstop, and honestly, Cologne might be better suited in that position because he has a 60 rating, whereas Gaddy only has a 55. So I'd actually probably make that switch, and that might help a lot. But let's take a look at the bullpen. All the relievers. Oh, it's more of the same with all these profiles. So we're really doubling down on on this with a few all-around type guys. But yeah, this looks like one of the better teams that we've seen so far. It's balanced, has good pitching, good defense, good enough at least, and really good offense. So this might be the best team we've seen so far, despite only having a 8-10 record. All right, next up, the Miami Marlins. So Marlins are led by Ricky Mercado, their first round pick, 25 years young, with a nice contract. Playing him at short, borderline playable, 60 range with 55 rating. Ideally isn't your shortstop, and this is your second or third baseman because he has the arm potentially for third base. Don't love this player leading off because 25 stealing, and you'd rather have this person in a chance to drive in RBIs. And I'm an idiot. It's not leading off. I was just looking in order of potential. There we go. Dustin Geiger, 8th round pick, pretty good value given the power. Um, Nice looking lefty first baseman. We have another first baseman who is all about contact. I assume is their DH. Yep. Really good all around looking catcher with great defense. I'm going to go through these quicker. Campbell, Parrish. So really getting a lot of the BABIP avoid K guys, which I know there are a lot of in the league. Offense looks decent. I wouldn't say it's good or bad. It's kind of middle of the road, which is where they're at in terms of all the numbers except runs scored, which is interesting. They have poor base running, and it seems like just unfortunate circumstances leading to that. Let's take a look at the pitching. So Randy Schmidt, their 2nd round pick, only 20 years old in the 13 rated spec, is a side armor. Don't love this, but I know there's not too many lefty power bats as widespread as I've seen in other leagues, so maybe can get away with this. And has a lot of room to grow on velocity, 5 more miles per hour, which could really make him even more filthy. Raul Perez looks good. Kell looks good. Schneider and Thompson. So it looks like they're really focused on starting pitching in the draft. And then taking a look at relievers. Yeah, everyone looks all around good. I don't hate this team. This team looks like they should be in contention for a spot. Um, so I think of this division, I liked the Braves and Marlins. I think I'd pick the Braves to win it all in terms of this division. So right now we have the Giants and Braves as the best of the two divisions we've seen. Let's move to the NL North. We have the Cubbies at 11-7 to start the season. Uh-oh, some injuries. We got the catcher down, 2nd round pick for 4 weeks. He'll be back. And we got someone out for 3 weeks. Looks like an outfielder. He'll be fine. So starting off, Mike Garland, their highest rated player, only 25 years old. This looks like a really good third baseman that you could build a team around. So like what I see here, and what a great nickname, Hammerhead. We saw the catcher, Ashley Caffin. Interesting name. I don't personally like this profile, but I'm seeing a lot of it as we're going through the league with the low avoid Ks. So they strike out a bunch, but power and eye. What else? Fuller, backup catcher. Again, I'm not excited by this offense, but it doesn't seem bad. Pitchers, we got their 1st round pick, Ramon Hernandez, who's the 19th overall spec at 24 years old. Really nice young player. Six overall pick. Steve Coulson, no control. I don't like this. Is already walking 6/9. That's tough. Boyer, McAfee, and Melanias. These are all. You could get away towards the back of the rotation. I don't hate it, but Coulson should not be playing. Is there anyone injured? So it looks like they're getting a reliever back, and Tony Gonzalez is their actual starter. So I assume Coulson will go to the minors after this or play a role in the pen in low leverage. In terms of their bullpen, we got Guerin as their top reliever. Everyone looks solid across the board in the bullpen, given what we're seeing. So the Cubs, yeah, it looks like they should be pushing for a playoff spot. I don't think they'll be a top four seed, but or top three seed, but they'll be in there. All right, Cincinnati, first team that we have that filled out a form. So let me bring up their what they want to say. Cincinnati, they are hoping to build from scratch, and it will take 3 to 5 seasons to do that. So we can see here by their league ranking of players, everyone is pretty bad outside of a few players like Hoffman Cole, who I assume he will be trying to sell, maybe even with retention if he's fully rebuilding, as you could probably get a pretty penny for this type of player. Well, it is a first base only. I wouldn't put this person in the field, but still should get something decent. Um, they're in rebuild mode. They think the strength of their roster is hitting and nothing else. They expect to be 75 to 81 wins, which I don't know why you'd be in rebuild mode and still playing around 500. So that's a little curious. They wanted us to highlight Ikeda. So again, I assume they'll sell this person with retention. This is a great lefty ground baller, little older, so I think you got to retain to get really good value. But this is a great ground ball pitcher that I think any team would love to have as their number two starter in their rotation, especially lefty ground baller in the playoffs is always great. In terms of the batter they want us to highlight is Cole, who we already took a look at. And then any prospect, they said no one is special. Um, let's see if I agree. I agree. No one looks that special. So yeah, curious why they want to be around 500. I don't think they will continue at 11 and 7, because I assume they're going to start selling off assets. But as of now, they might have a little too much to be in full rebuild mode, so they got to start selling. We got to see our first trade in Metro. Alrighty, where are we next? The Milwaukee Brewers. So let's see. Did we get anything from them? No. So Milwaukee 11 and 7. Let's take a look here. Oh no, we're back on Cincinnati. All right. Led by Tyler, Mike Thomas, the #1 overall prospect in the game at 21, is having a crazy season in terms of batting 350 to start when you have 30 avoid K. 75 stealing is filthy. He's off to a bad start with stealing, which is interesting. But 80 power, 80 I. It's likely more than 80 power too, because you dub no splits, and as a lefty to have no splits is wild. So that leads me to believe that this righty power is probably close to 100, and this lefty power is maybe like 85. So this guy will be a home run machine, and when it's all said and done, maybe the all-time leader in home runs if he can stay healthy, because it's only 21 with over 80 power most likely. All right, who else do we got on the team? Kissinger, who is not a shortstop. You cannot throw 50 range and 45 overall at shortstop. Do they have someone hurt? No, they do not. So I'm not sure why this person is playing shortstop. Do they have anyone else who can play shortstop? They do not. Okay, this team needs to go out and get a shortstop if they want to compete. Good looking player. Alcaron, another good looking player. Decent catcher. I'm surprised 70 rating. I guess it's the power in the eye, but the defense leaves much to be desired. Third base, first base. I mean, the offense looks decent. I know Tyler stepped in after a few rounds were already drafted. Got the center fielder who looks gonna hit home runs and play defense and give you nothing else. But that's okay. Okay, now let's look at the pitching. Starters. Jimmy Olsen. I hate this profile, but here we are again. Oh, Tyler spying into the profile, but the back of this rotation is pretty bad. So it's very top heavy. We go on to relievers. Oh boy, this is ugly. And they're old. So if I had this team, I know he didn't get full control over um, the players. I would sell every old guy, rebuild around Mike Thomas. You could keep him. He's 21. By the time you get out the rebuild, he'll be 25, 26, maybe 24 if you could do it quickly because the draft classes are pretty stacked. Um, but I don't see this team going anywhere. All right, last team in the South, the Pittsburgh Pirates, led by their catcher and second round pick, JD Higgins, who's injured with a bruised wrist. Then we have Dog Sayville, who is not a shortstop. Okay, we're seeing a theme. I wonder if it's folks don't want to play a defensive first or there's just not enough of them. Um, Moises Tellez looks good. Bagley looks good. Hauser looks good. Okay. Decent lineup. Nothing special there. Let's see. Who do they have? Tellez is their center fielder. Yeah, you could get away with that. All right, looking at their rotation, we have their first round pick, Randy Schwartz, 16th overall. Looks really good. The number 7 overall spec and off to a good start. And should get more strikeouts than 6 per 9. Then we got Barron, who looks really good, their third round pick. Outside of Duran, I like their 1 through 4. So their 1 through 4 looks good. I don't like their fifth starter. Look at their relief staff. Okay. No 45s, which is good. Okay. Looks good. So I like the 1 through 4. The bullpen looks solid enough. The defense looks okay. And the bats. How long is Ray out? Just 4 weeks. Bats look decent. I don't know. This looks like a 85 win team to me. Overall, this division looks weak compared to, I don't know, maybe everything just looks weak. In the AL is just more stacked, which we'll get to shortly. But who would I pick to win? I don't even remember. Did I like the Cubs enough? I think I did. I'll go Cubs, Pirates, Brewers, Reds. Um, I could see the Brewers trying to do something because they do have a firepower offense with power. They'd have to make a lot of trades to fix the other holes, though. I probably would tear it down. All right, last one in the NL is the National League East, which is led by the Washington Nationals. They're led by Jamie Falez, their third round pick. Playing shortstop. I think you could get a range 65 range. The 55 position value is not the best. Off to a great start with the bat. Only 23. So many young players. We have a contact catcher, all around outfielder. The backup catcher looks good too. Probably could sell him. Eric Carter, Bill Austin. Okay. I don't hate what the Nationals are doing on offense. Let's take a look at the starters. Clement Pizzole. A lot of people were shocked he fell to 4 and should have been the first pitcher selected. I was one of those people. Number 10 overall spec and off to a really great start. That's just filthy with those 6 pitches. Dyer, Skorka, Mead, and Duckett. Again, another solid 1 through 4. The 5 doesn't look as bad as some other fives. So it seems like the Nationals really focused on pitching and taking a look at the relievers. Solid enough. Not good, not bad, but it should be fine. So yeah, overall, I like this team. They're in first place. I see why. This should be a solid team, maybe around 90, maybe a little bit more, given the quality of the NL right now, which honestly does not look good. All right, the Philadelphia Phillies, led by Jesus Castillo, who is 28, filthy looking third baseman. Um, Off to a slow start with the power, but hitting for good average. Who else we got? Sal Cruz injured for 5 days, but this is a good looking second baseman. Zareki. I've noticed a lot of these types where I've had outfielders who have huge range arm and error, but no double play. Filthy first baseman. I wonder if you could throw him out as a third baseman. Seems like they didn't even bother in spring training to teach third base, but kind of curious. I have one of these players too. Um, okay, let's blow through some of these. Yeah, looks solid. All right, let's take a look at what they got in the pitching. So led by Ricky Lopez, second round pick. Already had a little dev up and has some room to go on the miles per hour. We got a pitcher out for 2 weeks. That's not a big deal. Okay, good 1 through 3. The 4-5 aren't terrible. Let's take a look at the relievers. I like Garza. 8th round pick. That's an early relief pitcher. Okay. Again, solid. Seen a lot of mediocre, but seems like that's good enough, especially in the NL. So yeah, I expect this team to be in playoff contention. Let's go to the Expos. The Expos did have a form, so I'm going to read through it. So the Expos, anxious to see the first drafted and developed superstars for the beginning of the league's life that everyone going forward will be compared to. They think their strengths are hitting and nothing else. They are off to a very slow start, if that's true. They expect to be 80 to 85 wins. They don't have enough, they feel, for the playoffs, but they're not in a teardown mode. They have no pitchers they want us to highlight except maybe Flores, but he's out. Let's look at him. Yeah, he looks decent. He's good. Ooh, very splitty though. Must be a slider guy. Yep. Don't love him. They want us to highlight Cooper as their batter. 5th round pick, power guy. Yeah, I like him. Who else they got? Healed. Ooh, like him more. Mayberry. That's a good looking catcher. All right. They got some interesting bats. Really good shortstop in Gallagher, who fell to the 3rd round. And in terms of who they wanted us to highlight, they wanted us to highlight Romero, who's their 1st round pick. Where is Romero? Is he not in? Is he hurt? Let's see. Who's Romero? It's not on their. I don't know. Am I looking at the right team? Montreal. Yeah, I'm not sure who they are talking about, to be honest. But can I look at the transaction log? Will it show? Okay. Jose Benuelos. I think that's who they meant, not Romero, because this is their 1st round pick. Um, Crazy avoid K and gap again, probably over 80 rating. Doesn't strike out. Guy should lead the league in triples, and maybe doubles. Has the speed for the triples too. Terrible base running and stealing. Sad that it's wasted. And playing him in center field, 65 range with a 60 rating, this will definitely do it. So it's a solid center fielder. All right, lastly, we have the New York Metropolitans in last place at 6-12 to start the season. But their position rankings look pretty decent. All right, starting with Francisco Martinez, their second round pick. Nice looking second baseman. A lot of good second basemen in this league, I've noticed. What else they got? A lot of contact guys. A lot of contact guys. Yep. So high contact. They're not batting well right now, but it seems like that might improve. Let's take a look at the pitching. Wilcox, filthy. Oh, but is a. Oh, this is the knuckleballer. I've never seen a elite knuckleballer in any OTP league, especially just two pitches. So kind of curious to see how this plays out. Terrible splits because it has a slider too. Not sure if it matters with a knuckleballer. Again, I've never really gotten used to it. Oh, Ryan, you wanted me to look up someone you drafted. Okay, sorry. Um, all right. Who else we got? Aquino, hate this profile, hate this profile, hate this profile, and hate this profile. Okay, so we're going with this similar to Atlanta, the no stuff, high home run allowed, high control. I know it works. Not for me though. Okay. Bullpen, pretty solid outside of Rodriguez, who's 33. Anyone on the IL? No. First baseman. This is not a 6-12 team. We've seen way worse teams than this, so I expect them to um, turn this around. Um, I don't even remember what I said about all these other teams because I'm going so quick. Who would I pick to win this division? That is the question. I think the Nationals, Phillies, and Mets all maybe have a shot. And even the Expos, I feel like all four of these teams have a shot to make it in the playoffs because this NL is so weak. So if I had to pick my top eight, let's see if I can remember this. I think we like San Francisco. We liked Atlanta. I think we like Pittsburgh, Cubs. So that's four. And then let's pick all four in the NL East. I don't know if how the schedule's done. That's possible. Um, but yeah, I think that's what, seven? Yeah, that's good enough. All right. Let's get to the American League. We'll start at the bottom and then we'll get up to the AL East. So let's start with the AL West. We have the California Angels who did submit. So let me go to them. So the Angels, they feel they are a 95 win team, which is the most someone has said. They are the first team to pick. We are going to win it all. Um, and in terms of their thoughts, down with the Mariners. I agree with you. They feel their strengths are starting pitching and hitting. Um, they want us to highlight Tuckner as a pitcher. I don't see him. Oh, he's hurt. Okay, shoulder inflammation. Second round pick. Thought it was overlooked because of his age. Definitely, that was the only reason, of course. Um, will be back. Yeah, this looks like a great starting pitcher. And then on offense, they'd like us to highlight Dunaway. I don't personally like this with the avoid Ks. We see a lot of this profile in this file, though. Off to a blistering start, which I do not see this 9 more pace and over 300 average continuing. High BABIP, but that low avoid K, I don't know. I know we don't have a big strikeout league, but still, um, hitting over 300 with this profile, I'd be a little surprised personally. Um, let's see. Who else they got? They got Pinon. I like this guy. Resendez, their 5th-round pick. All right, bats look good. Bats look good. I don't hate it. Moody as their center fielder. Just cutting it for now. Harris as their shortstop. Yeah, I like the offense. I agree with them. They said hitting and starting pitching. So let's look at the starters. They have the guy in the IL. Ortiz also older. Zerarte. So they went older. They just seemed like one best player available. Don't love Rice and Shepard, but yeah, this starting rotation, I agree. It is a strength. Let's take a look at the relievers. This is a good closer. Oh, sidearm slider guy. I spoke too soon. Don't like that. Off to a great start, though. Southern, Brown, Davis. Okay. Yeah, this is a good team. I don't know about 95 wins because I know the AL is just so strong, but this should be a playoff team for sure. All right, let's go to the Las Vegas Athletics. Hate that they're in Vegas, but okay. Um, did not submit. They have a pretty stacked team when you look at position rankings, though. So here we go. Elias Martinez, we love this. 80 stealing, 80 aggressiveness, 80 base running. 23 years young, 29 overall spec. This is a fun player. Already has had 2 injuries, though, so that might be some foreshadowing and might be getting fragile already. Let's hope not. Tony Andrews looks great. Should not be playing second base with 50 range. Mitch Holloway, this is a nice looking shortstop. Callahan, terrible personality, but solid player. Don't like this catcher, but it's fine. Enough defense and has the pop. Okay, I like Oakland's offense. I do. Let's move to starters. Fourth round pick, Woolridge. Don't like the lack of control there. That's going to be an issue. First round pick, Malone. I like Malone. Off to a bad start, but that'll pick up. Vince Wright looks good. Davis does not, and Gonzalez looks okay. Who's Vara? Vara looks okay as well. I would probably move Gonzalez from long relief and put him into the rotation or replace Zach Davis, unless you have better scouting than I do. But I don't like this Davis guy. Looks like a AAA player or a long reliever at best. And then out of the bullpen, who do we got? Bose, Ruiz. Okay. Bullpen looks decent. Yeah, I also like this team. Think I like California a little bit more. But this team will be fighting for the playoffs probably. All right, here we go. Seattle Mariners, home to Dustin. Starting out with their 7th-round pick, who's already 80 potential, is devved up a lot already. Don't love to see that, especially from a Dustin player. Looks like a solid third baseman with that 70 arm, 53 spec, switch hitter with no split issues. That's filthy. Only thing he can't do is run. But this is a great player to build around at 20 years old. How did this guy fall to the 7th round? All right, their 4th-round pick, Coleman. I remember I was upset when this guy was taken, a legit center fielder, but isn't even playing center field, so they have someone better, that means. This guy's in left field and doesn't even know center field yet with the crazy running, solid overall profile, only 23 in the 30 overall spec. Nakagawa, In right field, another noticing a trend. Overall, solid across the board on offense. Great stealing, good defense. Sounds like Dustin. Heckman, this is a good second baseman. Chamberlain? He's playing Chamberlain in center field. That's interesting. OSA is better. Maybe he has higher range than I do. Because I would think this would be your center fielder, unless you're worried. Oh, you know what? Dustin's smart. He probably saw two leg, or not leg, one's oblique, but two injuries. It was like, let me take him out of center field to a little lower leverage position, especially given he's going to be running a lot otherwise. Okay, now it makes more sense. But I see a lot of stolen bases and should hit for high enough average. I don't see much home run ability. And then starters. Their first round pick, Ricky Robertson, 28 years old, but is one of the best, if not the best, starting pitcher in the league. Gomez, their third round pick. You know, Dustin loves his ground ballers. Yep, this is one of the better rotations that we've seen so far. And then in the bullpen, everyone is solid. The only thing they don't have is power, but I like this as the best team in the division that I've seen so far. Every single team we've looked at is competing and looks like a solid team. Lastly, we have the Canadians. All right, they are led by what is going on here? Why is this player not starting? Someone tell me. I don't know. Was there an injury? Oh, there was an injury to start the season, but that was a month ago. I don't know. If you're gonna have, for folks who are newer to the game, if you're gonna have a prospect up, which like you can make a case that he should be up, I'd probably have this person in AAA. Um, maybe even double A to see success, but no, AAA. He's 23. He's knocking on the door. Um, but playing time matters, I believe. At least that's what someone told me. I think bench in majors versus playing time in minors, I don't know if there's a huge difference, but I wouldn't want my player wasting service time and rotting away. Oh, he already has service time and is ARB eligible, given some of these wonky contracts. So I definitely would not have him right in the bench. He's a great spec. Get him at bats to help him dev. All right. Dave Diaz, another bat. He looks like a good bat. Swanson bat. And then it gets weak. So a solid top half, but I don't love the bats compared to what else we've seen in this division. And then let's look at the pitching. Calderon's filthy as their second round pick. Quinones filthy as their first round pick. So they went pitching. This rotation's good. And let's look relief. Damn, the relief's pitching looks really good. Their bullpen might be their strength. Um, do they have any defense? They have a good shortstop. The center fielder leaves much to be desired. Oh boy, this team is. We got four teams that are seemingly trying to win. I think I like Seattle, Cal, Oakland, Vancouver in that order, but damn. Okay, AL. I feel like we're going to see a lot of this in a lot of divisions. Let's move to the South. We have the Houston Astros in first place to start with the top rated catcher in the game, Miguel Fuentes, who was selected in the second round. Filthy catcher. Detrimentally completed to improve base running. I don't know why you even try to send this guy to base running camp. With these detrimental running camps, sometimes it makes their legs more fragile, and it will tell you that. Or at least it used to. I think they might have done a patch to update it. If you have injury ratings turned off, it doesn't tell you that anymore, potentially, but I could be wrong. Um, but I wouldn't even take the risk. That was silly. It didn't improve his defense. If he gets his defense up a little, that's amazing. But this is a great catcher. Who else we got? John Mejia, first baseman. Nothing else is really sticking out. We have this 80 range shortstop who's cool. I remember thinking about getting him. 26th round pick. I think it was a 40 overall during the draft, and so I wasn't able to pick him. But yeah, crazy range, but will make a lot of errors. Hasn't yet, but isn't a starter. So there we go. Who are they starting? This guy? Okay. Can't play defense there, um but yeah, I don't like this offense. It's the worst that we've seen in the AL so far, even though they're off to a decent start. Let's take a look at the pitching. Windmeyer, their first round pick, 25 years old, number 22 spec. Dumel, Otway, Powell, Barnum, Garza. They have a lot of starting pitchers. Some of these must be in the bullpen. And their bullpen, Campos looks good. The rest is okay. I mean, I don't love the bats. The pitching looks good. The defense, I'd be maybe slightly worried about, but maybe it should be middle of the road. But not too impressed. I don't know if they're going to stay as an 11-7 team. All right. Let's go to the Diamondbacks who submitted a form. So let me pull that up. Oh, I just realized I missed Dustin, so sorry. Seattle said so much parity in the league, it's hard to see much separation one team to the next. Got to win close ball games to decide playoff spots, probably. And my bullpen is pretty decent. Expects to be in the playoffs with 90 wins. Sorry for forgetting that, Dustin. Said starting pitching and defense are his strengths. We talked about that. All right, the Arizona Diamondbacks. They expect to win 90 games. They said looking to play close games and have the bullpen be better than yours. Um, they want us to highlight Shoop and Boyce. So Shoop could be your center fielder as well in this league. This is their first round pick. Just filthy. Improved his base stealing. It's probably went from 60 to 65 or something. This is just a filthy player. Like, look at these bars. Oh my God. All right, and then they want me to highlight Boyce, a legit center fielder, has the stealing, has the all-around profile with the power. Yeah, this is a crazy one too. When was he picked? Third round. This person fell to the third round. Looks like a huge dev up from 60 to 75 already. Good for you, Arizona. All right, anyone else worth looking at? First baseman. Yeah, overall looks okay. Otherwise, but those two will definitely carry the team. They think they'll be a playoff team. They think bullpen and defense are their strengths. I see the defense, in the outfield at least. Yeah, they got like three center fielders almost. Yeah, I would say defense should be a strength, fifth in ZR right now. Let's look at the starters. This looks like a group of looks like five number four type starters. So the starting pitching doesn't look elite, but they just drafted bullpen. Look at this bullpen. Outside of Arthur, this is probably the best bullpen we've seen. Um, and yeah, I see what they mean. They have good offense, good enough offense with a lot of stealing, defense, and a bullpen. I wonder if these pitchers are on some big pitch counts. Oh no, this guy's throwing 120 pitches already. So no pitch counts. I'd probably want to limit these starters and get the ball to the bullpen as soon as possible because they have the best bullpen ERA, but their starters are not good. Like I said, it's a team of number four starters. All right, the Texas Rangers. Let's see what they had to say. So they filled out a form as well. All right, they think they're going to be fighting for a playoff spot hovering around 500. Said, not really thrilled with our prospect as of now, but overall content with the team. A big weakness for us is running and stealing. If our defense stays relevant, we might have a chance to compete. Depending on where we find ourselves, we may alter. After All-Star, we may be buyers. Okay, let's take a look. So on offense, they wanted us to highlight Brent Hernandez. This was their first round pick, number 14 overall. Um, Outstandingly completed base running and successfully improved defense. I don't know why you're trying to do base running here, but that's okay. Um, yeah, this is a legit great shortstop, 23 years old, number 5 spec in the game, off to a 12.2 WAR pace, which is the most we've seen so far. Anything else worthwhile on the offense? Again, a lot of solid. I don't love this offense though, outside of Hernandez, and he didn't list hitting as a strength, and I see why. He did list starting pitching. Yeah, this is one of the better rotations we've seen, up there with Seattle potentially. Second round pick, third round pick, sixth round pick, seventh round pick, and eighth round pick. So this he went starters. He focused on the pitching. So I agree with that. And then relievers. Uh-oh. Eh, it's mediocre. It should be enough. Um, but yeah, I see what he's saying. I mean, this it's a tough division and tough league, so may have to not be buyers, but uh, yeah, we'll see. Great rotation though, good defense, good top of the lineup. Bullpen should be enough. All right, and we have the Kansas City Royals, who also submitted, they think 69 wins, very clever. They thought the inaugural draft was the first draft I've done in Stats Plus, and I was using the filters wrong. Figured it out several rounds in. It was too late. At least my guys have good personalities and are cheap. And he's in rebuild mode. He said the only person to look at is Schwieweiss. Agreed. 19 years old. Oh my God, so young. Um, Looks like a great player. If he's in full rebuild mode, you don't even have to sell him because he's only 19. Depends on what he wants to do. All right. Doesn't seem like he wants us to talk about anything else. Is there anything else worthwhile? Nothing on the relievers. Their top pitcher is out for 6 weeks, but should be a tradable asset, their second round pick. They have some other bats, though. Bailey looks good. Domchovsky looks good. Dare looks good. The bats aren't terrible. They're not terrible. But for this division, I'd probably go um, Arizona, Houston or Texas, and then Royals in last. Moving on, two more to go into the AL North. Hold on, I need some water. We are blowing through this. All right, because I got to make it out to basketball in about 15 minutes. Um, who do we got? Detroit Tigers in first place at 12 and 6. Looks like a good team based on the position rankings. Let's take a look here. They did not submit, so here we go. Nice looking second baseman, fringe shortstop. I don't know if he has enough arm to make it. But Sean Kane, 6th round pick, another person who's devved up a lot, 65 to 75. Outstandingly improved their defense. See, this dev lab was way too easy this year. Wilson, their catcher, strike out a lot, but hit a lot of home runs. Kevin Williams, another high strikeout guy, but this is a legit center fielder with the power, this 80 stealing, the range. Will be interesting. On pace for just, 315 strikeouts. Not bad. Peck, Sanchez, Fortson, McGuire. A lot of stealing, I see. Bats look okay. Good, not great. Let's look at the pitching. Gonzaga, Heedy, Estrada, Garza, Santos. Mediocre. And then the bullpen. Gomez looks good. Pimentel looks good. Molina's okay. All right, I like the bullpen. I like the bullpen. Um, Again, looks like another team fighting for the playoffs. What did I say? I didn't love the starters too much, but bullpen looks good. Bats look good enough. Bats look good, yeah. Um, and the defense looks good. Outside of maybe the shortstop, we'll see if he could cut it. But yeah, this looks like another good competing AL team. What else is new? Here we go. Minnesota Twins at 11-7 to start the season. This is their second round pick, Steve Handrahan. Is he playing him at short? He is. Probably not a shortstop with a 50 rating. OSA has it a lot higher than me, so maybe he um, can stick it there. I don't know. What are y'all doing? Putting him in base stealing and base running? What are you trying to get? You got outstanding, so you got him from what, 35 or 40 to 45 stealing? I don't get the point. There's just too much injury risk on those to do it, in my opinion. But hey, you do you. He's 23. Maybe you'll try to do it like 5 more years in a row and get him to 60, 65. But I don't think that's likely. Jeremy Cranrich, good outfielder. Again, the bats look decent. The bats look decent. Right now, they are the top offense in the American League. Let's look at the pitching. Jorge Gonzalez. This was the controversial second round pick. Has already devved up on movement, according to my scout, and OSA, it seems. Filthy pitcher, 25 years old. I get it. I still think Pizzoli is better, but Milrich, Garcia. Okay, rotation looks decent. And relievers. Hawes is their best reliever. Pretty weak outside. Don't love the bullpen. Looks like another team trying to compete in the AL. We'll see. I think I like Detroit better. Next, Cleveland. Highlighted by Dan Hagel, their first rounder. I do not remember that defense. Another outstanding on defense is now a legit shortstop, but playing second base. Maybe because of the arm, maybe he has someone better, maybe he's worried about injuries. I don't know. Um, but yeah, this player is filthy with that 80 BABIP. Splits aren't too bad. 50 I is key with his avoid K. And this is a good leadoff hitter, but he can't steal. So I don't know. Maybe I'd bound him second if you have someone faster. Yankowski. Hurt. Okay, I see why he's shortstop. Because of the arm. But I don't like this profile. The high avoid K with low I don't know. And no power. Doesn't do it for me. Who else we got? Hauk, backup catcher. Did he dev? That's yeah, 50 to 70. 50 to 60. That was like 23rd round pick. It's pretty impressive. Rest of the offense, I don't know. A lot of these offenses are starting to blur together. Can't tell who's that good or not. The rotation, eh. And the relievers. Not that great. They did fill out a form I'm just seeing, so let me read what they said. See if we agree. Okay, they think their strength is hitting. Stronger than the rotational bullpen. I'll give them that. They think 85 wins and fighting for playoffs. Okay. I could see around 500 and trying to fight. AL is tough. They want us to talk about Juan Colon, but not his 25 forkball. I don't know why you want me to talk about this player. Looks like a number 5 starter, so we're going to move on. Sorry. Alex Castaneda. Yeah, that's a good young third baseman with a amazing contract. So hats off. Any other thoughts? They are 6-0 versus the White Sox and need to play them every game. And let's look at the White Sox. Off to, I think this is the slowest start that we've actually seen, 4-14. Good league rankings. So let's see what's going on there. Um, Atkinson. Oh yeah, I remember this guy. First round pick, number 2 overall spec. Crazy BABIP, likely over 80. Um, Playing him at first base, smart. Smart, smart, smart. Gubin, okay, we're sticking with the contact theme. Contact, contact, contact. Okay, all-around player in Raimundo. Contact, contact, and contact. So we like contact hitters in Chicago. Let's see what we got in the starters. This is their number one. Oh boy. Not a fan of the rotation. They got an 80 overall reliever. They pick in the third round, but only has 30 control. Better be sending him to some control labs and praying for a miracle. What else we got? Anything else in the bullpen? No. I don't love this team. Definitely the weakest. I actually like this order that they're in now. Detroit, Minnesota, Cleveland, and Chicago. I think that's the order. All right, and lastly, the AL East, led by the Baltimore Orioles. I don't understand it. They're off to a hot start. This team does not look good, at least by these league rankings. Let's take a look. No batters over 65. Godwin is a nice looking center fielder. Markowitz, nice range. Doesn't have much else. I don't know if that's a probably want to send him to some defensive labs. Surprised he wasn't. Trujillo, this guy should probably be your shortstop, to be honest, and move Markowitz to second base. Not that I want to be giving hints to a division rival, but that's what I would do. Atkins, okay. Grant, don't like. Selby, okay. A lot of contact guys or strikeout guys, which is an interesting hybrid, which I don't see as sustainable. I do not think this is the fourth rated offense. I'm sorry. Starters, Horner, eh. Okay, we're going for the home run allowed, no stuff like Atlanta, like one of the other teams. I don't like it. I know it works. Let's move on. And this bullpen is god awful. This is probably the worst bullpen that we've seen in the league. So I don't think this is a playoff team. This looks like a bottom of the league team. How they are in first place right now, it's just small sample size, but this team is bad. This is a bad team. All right. The Bo Sox, led by, I think this is Bob's team. We have Escamilla, great looking third baseman. Another one of these guys who has a BABIP that's probably well over 80. Danny Gomez looks like a good outfielder. Looks like a lot of, like, these bats are all, it's like contact plus overall, but this offense looks good. Ooh, and who's the shortstop? Look at that defense. 10th round pick. Can't do anything else, but I like it. All right, I like the offense. Let's see what we got on the other side. Everyone looks solid. Looks like there's no ace, but it's a bunch of number 2, 3s types. And the bullpen, mediocre. Good top half of the bullpen, really drops off though. But I like this team. Good pitching, good offense. Defense leaves a little concern outside of shortstop, just center field. Yeah, they're not doing well defensively right now. Kind of middle of the pack to the bottom. All right, two more teams. The New York Yankees. This is my team. Shock, shock, because I think this almost every year, but I do think this is the best team in the league. Got made fun of for this pick. As a fringe left fielder or first baseman. 23 years old, 11 overall spec, switch hitter with power, eye, and no weak spots, and could even steal a base. So I love this pick in the third round. I don't know why it got a lot of hate, but haters gonna hate. Jorge Luna, my second round pick, nice looking second baseman who again had a ridiculous dev lab success and now maybe is a backup shortstop. I wouldn't start him there with only a 50 arm and the low double play, but Huge second baseman. Kemp was a free agent signing that I got off Amnesty. I like the power. The defense is good enough. I love switch hitters. So there's another switch hitter. Reed was another Amnesty pickup because I barely drafted anyone with budgets or demands. Um, it's first baseman, fringe left fielder. I have him DHing right now. I'm just going to see how many stolen bases he could rack up. Williams is a nice looking outfielder. Chastain outfield, all around types. Bobby Jones, again, another DevLab darling. Um, he did not have this range and defensive rating before, but I think he got an outstanding, and here he is. His bat should heat up a little. Another Amnesty pickup, but this should not be my shortstop. Had to run him out there, um, but because my other one was injured, and then the rest, I got Corey Walsh's depth. And hopefully he should heat up. Looking at the pitching, I like my rotation. A lot of good overall guys. Um, for 55 and above. I think it's solid. I don't think it's necessarily the best. But I think the bullpen's really good too. A lot of good overall players with no one too weak. And yeah, the defense is really good. I always do defense. Been getting more into stealing. I'm number one in stolen bases, number one in zone rating. I think the average will pick up. Second in home runs. I don't understand how I'm 11th in runs scored given everything else. And the starters will get better. See this as a really good team. And then lastly, with the last team, we got the Toronto Blue Jays. Off to a 6-12 start. Sorry, Amin. Did not pick Kellerman with the first round pick. Let's see what we got going on here. I don't think he's in rebuild mode, though. I think this is just a slow start. We got Borjas, not an outfielder, very fringe, and isn't playing well there. Holden, not seeing any top round picks, so I think he went all pitching. A lot of contact guys. Not a lot of speed guys, two of them. I thought he usually goes for that. Not loving this offense as much compared to Boston or New York. But he loves pitching, so this rotation's probably going to be filthy. Yeah, Mario Rodriguez, filthy 21. Medina looks great. He's 24. Petway, he looks good in this game, 22. Rotella looks yeah, decent enough. He's number 4, number 5 type of wall. Really solid top 1, 2, 3. And then relievers. Looks like they invested a lot in the relief. 3rd round pick, 10th round pick, 4th round pick, 7th round pick. So yeah, this guy 24th. He must have dev'd or something. How'd he fall? This looks good. Nice find. Fastball changeup. This is one of the best bullpens as well. This is a top 3 bullpen that we've seen. Okay, so I think I'd go Yankees, Red Sox, Blue Jays, Baltimore. In terms of playoff teams, I marked down 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 teams fighting for how many spots is it? 7 spots, 6 spots? I forgot. Um, so it's going to be interesting. Like, I think New York, Boston are locks. Toronto's probably a lock. Detroit's probably a lock. Arizona's probably a lock. Seattle's probably a lock. California's probably a lock. And then what? You have Arizona, Houston, Texas, Twins, Vancouver fighting for a final spot or two. The AL is so much more stacked than the NL. Going through this and looking through everyone's team for the first time, it is wild the difference. It'll be fun in the AL to compete, but gosh, the NL is so much weaker. And you can't get off to too slow a start in the AL if you're competing because you're going to be facing good teams for a lot of the season. All right, I got to run off to basketball, but hope y'all enjoyed this quick, speedy podcast. Got a little insight into kind of how I think about things. Obviously, different GMs think differently. Um, and that's great, and that's what makes it fun. Everyone has different strategies and different approaches to the game. But yeah, hope you enjoyed it, and until